of un-Islamic content that has taken over the media space. Are you looking for an exclusive collection of Tafsir of the Quran, Seerah of the Prophet, lecture on marital issues and child upbringing? Look no further as iMedia Communication offers you all these and more in the Guidedview Park. 120 hours Tafsir of the Quran delivered over 4 years in Al-Nur Mosque. Seerah of the Prophet, Shamailu Nabiyy 30 hours from 2017 to 2019.
Kai da roƙon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ya samu a cikin bayin da ake karɓan addu'o'insu a wannan wata mai albarka kuma ake gafarta musu.
25 hours of peace and unity convention. Mufti Menk lectures, 50 hours delivered in Nigeria and across the world for you and your loved ones.
I have only created mankind and jinnkind to obey me. And wallahi, my brothers and sisters, if you do that, you will be content in this world. You will smile even if you are living under a tree. And if you don't do that, you will be depressed even if you are living in a palace. Did you hear that?
Delivered on high-grade flash drives for your TV, your phones, your car or any other platform. Get your pack at iMedia Studio in Al-Nur Masjid, Wusetu, Abuja, or visit www.imediatv.tv or call 080-6131-9522. Take deliberate control of your life and that of your beloved ones by taking control of what they watch.
We all know, inshallah, we're starting a new book today. And the first thing I would like to say, and amazingly, the hadith that you're going to go home with today to learn talks about intention. In life, whatever one intends to do, he or she must do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything must be done to earn Allah's pleasure. So as we all are gathered here this evening to start this new kitab, my advice to one and all is that we should make sincere our intention and do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى. Whoever does it for the sake of Allah, Allah makes it easy for him to comprehend. If I'm teaching for the sake of Allah, Allah opens up doors of comprehension to such an extent that I will be able to deliver the message in a good way. If you are here to listen for the sake of Allah, Allah makes it easy for you to understand, and Allah makes it easy for you to practice on whatever you've learned. So inshallah, as we have said, we want each and everyone to try as much as possible to be jotting things down. That is, how to seek for knowledge. Knowledge. You have to give knowledge your whole. Am I communicating? And knowledge will give you a part of it. But if you are not serious about seeking for knowledge, there is no way you can be knowledgeable. And part of the blameworthy situation that the Muslims find themselves in today is that we are too hasty and, to seek for a quick way into understanding things. There is tarbiyah, and that is, inshallah, what we're going to discuss in the muqaddimah today. You have to start from level to another level to another level. But today, the society is forcing scholars to compress knowledge in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, because if you teach for 1 hour and you send the audio or you send the video, nobody's going to spend and waste this 1 hour. Yes, it sees it as a waste of time. So you have to cut it to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and get the message. And there is no way you will learn Islam through that. You can only be energized. And also lectures. You can never be, a learned Muslim if your life is built on just listening to lectures. This person is delivering lecture. No, this is scholarship. Taking books to learn from page to page, understanding things, sharing knowledge, and learning from the best. Because the scholars that have sat down to write this things are by far more knowledgeable than any one of us could think of. And when we learn from their knowledge and the wisdom, we stand to learn a lot. And that is why there is no knowledge if it is not from the book. The first of it from Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what the Salaf were upon, and what the scholars that are upon the path of the Salaf have, written of commentary, shuruh of these classical books. And that is the only way we can get out of trouble. We can spend our time telling people that, oh, don't listen to this deviant. Don't do that. It creates more problem because they see you as someone that is breeding fitna because they don't have knowledge. They don't even understand why they should not do what you're asking them not to do. So the best approach is to teach people. When you teach people and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides them through that knowledge, they will sit by themselves and understand that, okay, this is how to take Islamic knowledge and this is how to act upon it. So the book is Ath-thalatha or Thalathatul Usul, the three fundamentals, written by Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab bin Sulaiman At-Taymi An-Najdi, one of the greatest scholars of the last 2 centuries. Briefly, wa alaikum salam, from Najd, isn't it? Arabian Peninsula was divided into Najd and Hijaz before, coming together to be known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please move forward. You can come and sit behind. Do you understand? Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, in short, in brief, played a very, very significant role in reviving the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to teach. He came during a time where people are steep in deviation, bid'ah and shirk, or shirk and bid'ah, isn't it? A time where people were, strongly stuck to madhab, isn't it? Maliki, Hanafi, this. Then he came to revive the Islamic civilization itself. So he's a mujaddid, isn't it? A revivalist. The enemies of Islam will go to any length to tarnish the image of anyone that comes to revive the true teaching of Islam. And that was what happened to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They called him a madman. Bal huwa sha'ir, bal huwa kadhabun majnoon. They called the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a poet. They called him a madman. Yes, isn't it? They called him a madman. They called him different names. Why? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called people to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. The same way, Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab did a great job by unifying the Muslim Ummah. Before in Kaaba, there is the Qibla where the people of Maliki sect, Maliki Madhab pray. They pray behind the Maliki Imam. The Shafi'is pray behind the Shafi'i Imam. The Hanafis pray behind the Hanafi Imam. The Hanabila pray behind the Hanbali Imam. This was happening in Kaaba. And the Hanbalis will not marry from the Shafi'is or from this and that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy that someone came, a revivalist, and the Arabian that was steep in, shirk and bid'ah, once again, he fought to establish through impeccable teachings. Now, do you think the enemies of Islam will leave him like that? Because the aim is to stop you from reaching the truth. So they coined the term Wahhabism. That is where it came from. Wahhabism. And in Hausa they say Wahhabiyawani. When they tag you with that name and you don't want to be seen like that, then you abandon the teaching of the religion. Because you don't want to be seen as someone that has been tagged as a Wahhabist. Do you understand? But the term Wahhabism was coined by the enemies of Islam, isn't it? I read a book some decades ago, written by a British spy. His name is Hemfa, on Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. You don't want to see how they tarnish the image of this great scholar. Yeah, it is not something new. They tarnish the image of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what more of? Even the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was accused. So, in short, Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab came to revive the true teachings of Islamic civilization and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aided him. And today, alhamdulillah, the fruit of what Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab did is what has spread to almost all parts of the world today. Am I communicating? Now, muqaddimatu sharh. Muqaddimatu sharh. The muqaddimah of the sharh. That is page number 5 in your kitab. Page number 5 in your kitab. Muqaddimatu sharh. Sheikh Salih Fawzan bin Fawzan, Hafidhahullah, is still alive. One of the greatest scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah today. This is the sharh of Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan. And in most cases, the shuruh of these our great scholars, it's not that sometimes they sit down to write this commentary. When they teach, their students now record what they teach, and they compile their teachings into what? Into a book form, and they bring to the scholar to go through. This is what you have taught us. Then he goes through and he legitimizes it, and they publish it. That is why sometimes the scholars of Egypt, when you take their shuruh, their commentary, you see it's more voluminous, isn't it? Sometimes they sit down to write it, and when you sit down to write the commentary, you tend to bring in so many references as against when you are just sitting down to teach. So, and that is why even when you take the sharh of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymin, rahmatullahi alayh, when you take the sharh also, it is about this size also, the sharh of Sheikh Uthaymin of Usul Ath-thalatha, isn't it? So, Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan, this is the commentary of Usul Ath-thalatha by Sheikh Salih Fawzan bin Fawzan, Hafidhahullah. Muqaddimatu sharh. What is muqaddimah? Introduction, isn't it? The forward of the commentary itself. Muqaddimah, isn't it? Gabatarwa. Introduction of the commentary itself. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As we said, we're going to, inshallah, try as much as possible to read line by line, because we want you at the end of the day to assimilate everything that is contained in this kitab, and you will be able to teach others, inshallah. So it's not a lecture session, it's a class that we want you to understand. And this is the basics you can learn, you can start learning about Islam, isn't it? Usul Ath-thalatha is the basics, is the ABCD that you need to learn first before moving into anything. So he says, Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's that? Oh, okay, excellent. Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan, he said, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. And peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon our Prophet, Nabiyyina, yani Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa ala alihi, and upon his household, wa sahbihi, and his companions, ajma'in, all of them. We do not differentiate between the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are not like the Shiites. We do not differentiate. Can you see Aqidah coming out here? This is Aqidah coming out here. When he say, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, all of his household and all of his companions. Why? Because you have people of different sects also that do not include them. So can you see the Aqidah of Ahl Sunnah coming out even from the introduction? All of the companions, not some of them, leaving others. Waba'ad. Waba'ad is part of the Sunnah also. Is part of the Sunnah. When you say, Inna alhamdulillahi nahmadu wa nasta'inu amma ba'adu, this also is part of the Sunnah. So have it at the back of your mind. This also is part of the Sunnah. And in most cases, amma ba'adu, what follows it starts with fa'un, F. In most cases, what follows amma ba'd comes with F, fa'un, isn't it? So amma ba'adu, he said, فَبَيْنَ أَيْدِينَا هَذِهِ الرِّسَالَةِ. In front of us is this treatise, or what you call a message, isn't it? A risala, treatise. Risalatu thalathatul usul, a treatise on 3 fundamentals. وهي رسالة جليلة مقتصرة مؤيدة بالأدلة من كتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said وهي رسالة, وهي رسالة because of ta'u marbut, وهي رسالة, and it is what? A treatise, a message. Jalila, a great message. Mukhtasara, brief and concise, yani summarized message. That is mukhtasara. Muayyida, that has been supported bil adilla, with evidences, min kitabillahi, from the book of Allah, wa sunnati rasulihi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you see another akida coming out here? You don't establish anything until you have supported it with evidences from Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is another evidence here. Remember from our previous kitab, you don't say anything about Allah until you have evidence from Quran and Sunnah. You don't say anything about the religion of Allah until you have evidence from Quran and Sunnah. You can see that here. This book entirely is being introduced to us. This book is based upon deriving evidences from Quran and Sunnah. There is no single statement that Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab will make here without making reference to Quran. And that is why someone asked me yesterday, I was delivering a talk, and someone asked me, how do you deal with the stereotype that the non-Muslims give to the Muslims of calling them terrorists and fanatics because you hold on to the religion? I said, you don't have to tell them that I'm not a terrorist, because they know you are not, but they have decided to label you. They knew that the Prophet ﷺ was not a madman, but they have decided to label him as a madman. So do you think the Prophet will come to them and start telling them that? No. It's actions, isn't it? So when they say Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, Wahhabism, the mother of terrorism, isn't it? That is what they push. How do you know Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab? Take his kitab and start reading. And I can tell you from the beginning to the end, if you see anything terrorism here, then I promise to give you 50,000 naira. If there is terrorism in this, and that is the only way you can refute them. When you start learning, and you start saying, how can these people call Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab a terrorist? When everything he said is from Quran and Sunnah. There is no single word. Even in Kitab al-Tawheed, Masail, he will just say, Wafihi Masail, but he will just say, Qawluhu ta'ala, Qawluhu ta'ala. The same method he has followed here. So he said, Wahiya Risalatun, Sheikh is present this Usul Ath-thalatha that is in front of us. So we are privileged to be studying it, isn't it? Because Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan, he said, Wahiya Risalatun Jalilatun. It is a very great, concise message, mu'ayyida bil adilla, that has been supported by evidences min kitabillahi wa sunnati rasulihi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Wa hadhihi risala, this usul ath-thalatha that is in front of you, this treatise, fi aslin azimin min usul al-Islam. It is with regards to a great fundamental from the fundamentals of Islam. A great fundamental from the fundamentals of Islam. وَهُوَ الْعَقِيدَةِ. So it discusses Aqidah. It discusses Aqidah. This kitab is about Aqidah. And it shows that on Yawm al-Qiyamah, even the moment we die, nothing matters again except Aqidah. And that is why if we say this book is all about Aqidah, the angels are not going to ask you about anything in your grave but Aqidah. Can you see the importance of Aqidah? Nothing is going to be asked except Aqidah. And this book is based on what you're going to be asked in your grave. Sheikh said, وَكَانَ الْعُلَمَاءُ يَهْتَمُّونَ بِهَذِهِ الْمُقْتَصَرَاتِ. He said, وَكَانَ الْعُلَمَاءُ. The scholars, they used to يَهْتَمُّونَ بِهَذِهِ الْمُقْتَصَرَاتِ. They used to bother themselves with this brief, abridged version of the Aqidah, isn't it? They used to pay attention to this. يُؤَلِّفُونَهَا. They used to write about this Aqidah. وَيَتْعَبُونَ عَلَى اِقْتِصَارِهَا وَتَهْذِيبِهَا. And they put efforts in making sure that they bring out a concise formula regarding Aqidah, isn't it? وَتَهْذِيبِهَا, and they keep refining the books that they have written regarding this, so that people will learn easily. ثُمَّ يَحْفَظُونَهَا لِطَلَبَتِهِمْ, and they used to memorize it. So that they can teach and so that others can learn. They used to memorize it. لِتَبَقَى أُصُولًا عِنْدَهُمْ, their students used to memorize this, so that it will become a fundamental, a foundation عِنْدَهُمْ, with them. They will have something to hold on to. وَذَخِيرًا, what is dhakhira? Ammunition, a weapon. Now don't say you're going to get 50,000 naira from me. We are talking about intellectual weapon. Something that you can use when you sit with a bid'atic person. He will not be able to mislead you, because you already have a weapon of sound aqidah, isn't it? So you know that I can't even listen to this someone that is a bid'atic person, because if I listen to him, there is tendency that is going to introduce shubha to my heart. So I leave him, because I now have zakhira, isn't it? Ammunition. I'm well fortified. Yastafiduna minha, they benefit from it, isn't it? When they memorize Ath-thalatha and they teach others, they benefit from it. وَيُفِيدُونَ minha, and others benefit from it. They teach others the kitab also. وَالْبَدَاءَةُ بِهَذِهِ الْمُخْتَصَرَاتِ, and starting, look at what we are talking about, tarbiyah, and I get a chair from the other class, inshallah. We said, وَالْبَدَاءَةُ بِهَذِهِ الْمُخْتَصَرَاتِ, and starting, you know, when they say al-bidaya wan-nihaya, isn't it? The beginning and the end. So you starting your knowledge, the quest for knowledge, with these short, concise books like Ath-thalatha, Tariqun al-mutawwilat is a path that will take you to books that are lengthy. You have to start with the short ones before you can understand Sahih Bukhari. You have to start with these concise books first. That is tarbiyah. If you don't start with these concise, brief books on Aqidah, you will not be able to understand the bigger books written on Aqidah. So they are a path that will lead you to the bigger books written on Aqidah. La yumkin, listen. بهذه المختصرات هي الأساس لطلبة العلم. I jumped. والبداءة بهذه المختصرات, and starting with these short books. Don't say you are too big to learn Usul Thalatha. That is where you need to start from. You can't just pick Sahih Bukhari and start from it. Even Bulugul Maram, you can't just start. Bulugul Maram is not to be taught by anyone that is not knowledgeable regarding Ilm al-Hadith and having fiqh. It's not a small book that anyone will just pick and start teaching. Bulugul Maram that you see. So you start from books like this. Why? Hiya al-asasu, they are the foundation. Asas, shini, foundation, pillar, they are the foundation. Hiya al-asasu li talabatil ilm. They are the foundation for seeking for knowledge. That means when you pick on this, you are now on the path of seeking for knowledge. You have not started seeking for knowledge. Now you are on the path of seeking for knowledge. So that you have finished Usul Thalatha doesn't mean that you are a knowledgeable person. Now it is laying foundation for you to seek for knowledge. Am I communicating? فَطَالِبُ الْعِلْمِ, for the student of knowledge, يَبْدَهُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ شَيْئًا فَشَيْئًا, it starts by seeking for knowledge of something, then something. What does this statement mean? You start from something small, then you go to something big. That is a student of knowledge. It starts from the basics. Huruf al-Hijaiyah, you start from alif and ba'un, isn't it? Is it possible for you to be able to read Quran if you don't know alif and ba'un? So why do we have to start with alif and ba'un? So that you can be able to read something that is longer. So when a sentence is written, you are able to read the sentence because you have started with what? With the short one, alif and ba'un. So you cannot be able to understand bigger issues of the religion if you do not start from the smaller ones. So you have to start with the small books written in concise form, well written, to introduce us to the real Aqidah. Sheikh says, يَأْخُذُ مِن مَبَادِعِ الْعِلْمِ wa usulihi. The student of knowledge take from the openers of knowledge. Openers of knowledge, isn't it? Things that open the doors to knowledge. It's not the knowledge, but they are offering an access to knowledge. So the student of knowledge takes from this mabade. They are the fundamentals. If you know them, you can read bigger books. Do you think that all the books that the scholars have in their library, do you think that they have to sit in front of other scholars to learn? No, they learn the fundamentals, then they have the tools, then they can read the bigger ones now. But if you don't have the fundamentals, you cannot be able to understand the bigger ones. Even the bigger ones, there are some that you need to learn from the scholars. Then others are just commentary to expound on it. Now, for example, as a medical doctor, or as an engineer, or as an architect, self-righteousness, isn't it? They teach you the basics in the school. The professors, the faculties, they teach you the basics. After you are certified to be a graduate, would you still go back when you see books written on engineering and you buy them and you keep them on your shelf to research? Will you go back to your professor again to learn from page to page? He has given you the basic formula. But the one that does not have that foundation will not be able to understand it. So it's English language. I pick book on anatomy. The doctor picks it. It's the same English language. He reads it, he understands the message. I read it, I can only read the English, but I don't understand the message. So the same thing with Islam. If you don't have the foundation, yes, you might be fluent in Arabic, so you pick up Islamic books. You read, you'll only be misled. Because you cannot depend on your English language to read book on surgery and start, operating on a patient. You will be charged with what? Murder. So what about spiritual murder that a lot of people commit? People that are not qualified to teach people the religion, mere preachers misleading people. That is spiritual murder. Am I communicating? Okay. Now, Sheikh says, وَيَتَدَرَّجْ فِيهِ Daraja, the Hausa man will steal from Arabs. وَيَتَدَرَّجْ فِيهِ Then you will climb level by level, starting from the introduction, from the fundamental, he climbs up until he becomes a scholar and until he learns the knowledge in its totality. فَهَذِهِ الْمُقْتَصَرَاتِ Sheikh says this concise, summarized books like Usul Ath-thalatha that is very short. The matan is how many pages? Just concise. You can read it in 1 hour. You can complete Usul Ath-thalatha in 1 hour. Sheikh says, فَهَذِهِ الْمُقْتَصَرَاتِ طَرِيقُ الْمُتَوِّلَاتِ They are a path that takes you to the long ones. Tawil ko abu metao. So mukhtasar abun da yake short. So the summarized one leads you to the lengthy one. What you call the mujmal and the mufassal, isn't it? La yumkin, Sheikh Fawzan said, La yumkin. It is not possible. La yumkin. Do you understand? La yumkin an tafham al-mutawwilat illa ba'da fihim al-mukhtasarat. It is not possible for you to understand the lengthy books, the bigger books. You can't understand Sahih Bukhari. You can't understand books written on like Awaid al-Muthla of maybe Sheikh Uthaymeen on Asma'ullahi wa Sifati, like maybe Fatwa al-Hamawiyya, like other books. You cannot take Fatwa al-Bari, the commentary of Sahih Bukhari, and think that you cannot understand these bigger books if you don't understand these short, concise ones, if you don't learn them from scholars. Sheikh said, إِلَّا بَعْدَ فِهِمِ الْمُقْتَصَرَاتِ Fihim, isn't it? From Fahimta, the Hausa man steals again. Fihimi إِلَّا بَعْدَ فِهِمِ الْمُقْتَصَرَاتِ It is after you have understood the concise, short, summarized books that you will get to understand the bigger ones. وَالتَّدَرُّجِ مِنَهَا شَيْئًا فَشَيْئًا And you keep growing from one level to another level. So last year, if you are a student of knowledge, 1 year means a lot. Okay, 2 weeks means a lot. A student of knowledge will see difference in his knowledge in 2 weeks, because he must have risen from one level to another level. That is a student of knowledge. And that is what each and every one of us should become, to seek for the knowledge of the thing. If we don't have knowledge, we will be misled by those that claim to have the knowledge. And you will not even understand who is upon the truth and who is upon the falsehood. You'll be carried away by the beauty of the speech of the speaker. But with knowledge, you will understand that this person is already taking this path that is a path of deviation. I don't need to take knowledge from him. I don't need to listen. I hope I'm communicating. ولهذا, that is why قالوا في معنى, يعني scholars said the meaning of قوله تعالى, the meaning of the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the statement of Allah? Surah Al Imran, verse 79. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, from the beginning of the verse, Allah said, ما كان لبشر أن يؤتيه الله الكتاب والحكمة والنبوة ثم يقول للناس كونوا عبادا لي من دون الله. It is not for any prophet, yani Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah has given book and hikmah, wisdom, one nubuwa, and prophethood. You know, Imam Shafi'i in his kitab Al-Risala, he said whenever you see Al-Hikmah, kitab and Al-Hikmah, hikmah refers to what? The sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah revealed Quran and the sunnah. So you cannot separate between Quran and sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah said, it is not for him to say, Kunu ibadan li min dunillah, worship me besides Allah. No prophet invites to himself. They invite to Allah. Today you have preachers inviting to themselves, isn't it? You have preachers inviting to themselves as against inviting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You necessarily, you don't have to say, come and follow me, come and worship me. But the way you carry about your dawah activities indicates that you are calling people onto you because you just want to please people. You bend the statements of Allah to please people so that they will be pleased with you and they will be focused on you because they now see you as a moderate Muslim. That is you calling people to you, not to Allah. That is not the way of the prophets. The prophets call unto Allah. Allah said, the only thing they do is what? وَلَكِنْ كُونُوا رَبَّانِيِّينَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تُعَلِّمُونَ الْكِتَابَ وَبِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَدْرُسُونَ. They only said, كُونُوا رَبَّانِيِّينَ. Be ye those that seek for knowledge, isn't it? And are trained, nurtured upon that path, isn't it? Of that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has enriched them with knowledge of the kitab and what they teach, isn't it? They teach people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, they said what? These are the people, Rabbaniyin. Who are these people? They are the learned men of religion who practice what they know and also preach to others. Because you are teaching the book and you're studying it. So the scholars teach the book and they study it. Why did we bring this verse? Why did we bring this verse? Or why did Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan bring this verse? He said, remember we are talking about taking knowledge. This book, why we should learn Ath-thalatha and then go to another level, is bringing this verse. What is the wajh al-istidlal? We taught that in this class. The wajh al-istidlal here is because Allah says, Kunu rabbaniyina. And the scholar said, Inna rabbaniyina hum alladhina yabda'una bisaghair al-masail al-ilm qabla kibarihi. They are the ones that begin the affair of knowledge from the small issues of religion qabla kibarihi, before the big issues of religion. You don't know how to perform ablution. You don't know how to pray. And you are asking about bigger issues of the religion. Isn't it? You have not even, that was why Aisha radiallahu anha said, the people were nurtured, fi ma'na al-kalam. They were nurtured upon knowing Allah first. If Allah had started revelation by saying, don't do this and do that, people have run away from the religion. That is the nature of humans. So you need to learn ABCD. Otherwise, if you don't know ABCD and I start using big words and ask you to pronounce those words, you will stop coming to my class. Because I've not taught you ABCD and how to arrange those alphabets to make a meaningful word out of them. Am I communicating? And that is what Imam al-Baghawi said also. He said, Ar-Rabbani, I hope you're writing the references I'm giving you. Imam al-Baghawi, under the tafsir of this verse, Quran chapter 3 verse 79, he said, Ar-Rabbani alladhi yurabbi nas. If you see someone being referred to as a Rabbani, is the one that nurture people. Don't you see that you say, Rabbi irhamni, what is the verse? Rabbi rahamuhuma kama rabbayani sagira. Kama rabbayani sagira. Has they nurtured me? That is, as they nurtured me. Can you see the word now? Kama rabbayani sagira. Am I communicating? Naam. He said, Alladhi yurabbi nas bisigar al-ilm qabla kibarihi, is the one that nurture people with small knowledge before the big one. That is tarbiyah. You have to learn the basics before you can understand the intricate issues. Naam. Okay. Alladhi yurabbi nas bisigar al-ilm qabla kibarihi, is the one that nurture people with the small knowledge first before the big ones. Am I communicating? Now back to the book in front of you. Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan now say, Yurabbuna anfusahum. They nurture themselves, they train themselves. Watullabihim, and their students. Not only themselves, but also their students. They nurture themselves and they nurture their students. That is why anyone that goes through learning process from a teacher is different from someone that will just sit down and said, I'm going to read on my own. You will always be in confusion. Because the teacher nurtures himself with small knowledge first before he gets to the big one, and upon that he nurtures his students from small knowledge before he takes them to the big one. And that is why there are certain knowledge that you don't even tell people until you understand that their mustawa, their level of comprehension first. Otherwise, you send them away from the religion. Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan said, يُرَبُّونَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَطُلَّابِهِمْ ابْتِدَاءً مِنَ الْمَسَائِلِ الصَّغِيرَةِ إِلَى الْمَسَائِلِ الْكَبِيرَةِ. Just what we said. They start from small issues, then they take them level by level to the bigger issues. وَهَذَا شَيْءٌ طَبِيعِي. And this thing is inherent, it's a natural thing, isn't it? Even you start scrolling before standing up, before walking, taking baby steps, then you start running. Then that is how naturally people are. Then how do you want to take knowledge from above without starting from the initial one? Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan said, وَهَذَا نعم, he said, لِأَنَّ كُلَّ الْأَشْيَاءِ لِأَنَّ كُلَّ الْأَشْيَاءِ, isn't it? تَبْدَأُ مِنْ أُصُولِهَا. Everything begins from its fundamental, from the foundation. وَأَسَاسَاتِهَا ثُمَّ تَكْبُرُ وَتَعْظُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ ثُمَّ تَكْبُرُ. Then it becomes big and it becomes great after starting from the foundation. Let me use my profession as an example. This building is big, isn't it? And you are sitting on the second floor or the first floor, isn't it? How did this building start? From foundation. Do you think this building will stand without foundation? So how do you think that you're going to understand the religion will start without standing from the foundation? If the foundation is faulty, let's say we have foundation here, but if the foundation is faulty, what is going to happen to this building? It's going to collapse. Wallahi, if your Aqidah, the basic foundation, is faulty, you will never be able to be successful in terms of seeking for knowledge of the deen. And you will listen to almost every Zaid, Bakar, and Amr. You know, that is our Tom, Dick, and Harry. Zaid, Bakar, and Amr. Stop saying Tom, Dick, and Harry. Zaid, Bakar, and Amr. You know, the Arabs love these names. Zaid, especially because Allah mentioned the name of Zaid in Quran. So that becomes a way of giving an example with the name of Zaid, isn't it? That is said, Qama Zaidun. Do you understand? To demonstrate fi'l al-madi. But you use the name of Zaid, not necessarily Zaid. You know, even in Hausa, they say gobaran titi. Wata titi ce fa aka yi mata gobara. Ko kuma ce wa'azin mai bunsuru. You know, they use this. So Zaid Bakar also is a famous name, and Amr, isn't it? Zaid Bakar and Amr is our top. Or is there Tom, Dick, and Harry? Where are we? Now, وَتَعْظُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ وَتَعْظُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. Then it becomes big, isn't it? So there is no scholar without him having to start from beginning. There is no one that will say he has understood the religion of Islam without starting from the fundamental of the religion. فَأَمَّا الَّذِي يَهْجُمُ عَلَى الْعِلْمِ فَأَمَّا الَّذِي يَهْجُمُ عَلَى الْعِلْمِ هُجُومًا مِنْ أَعْلَاهِ. As for the one that rush knowledge, as for the one that rush knowledge and attacks knowledge, isn't it? Hujuman min a'lahi, attacking knowledge, rushing knowledge from above. You don't know the basics of Aqidah. Do you understand? Do you know why there are a lot of confusion today in the Ummah? Because people don't know the basics of Aqidah. They attack knowledge from above, isn't it? So they listen to things that maybe they are not even in the right frame of spiritual mind to listen to. They needed to have some foundations first. So now they get themselves into confusion. So Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan said, فَأَمَّا الَّذِي يَهْجُمُ عَلَى الْعِلْمِ هُجُومًا مِنْ أَعْلَاهِ فَهَذَا يَتْعَبُ وَلَا يَحْصُلُ عَلَى شَيْءٍ. This person will be tired. Don't you see that someone at the end of the day gets frustrated? He gets frustrated. He has attended lecture and that is, see, you have to forgive me for this. And that is why I said, you can't build an Islamic ummah through lectures. You can only build a good generation through teaching. Wallahi al-azim. Yes, lectures have their importance. But 90% of the effort of the Muslim ummah should be geared towards teaching the people what the religion is all about. Then the 10% on lectures. And lectures are actually when there are issues to discuss. Then you organize a lecture to address a particular issue. The same way you have Friday khutbah to address pertinent issues. But to build an ummah, wallahi, if you spend 20 years listening to lectures every now and then, you will never be able to teach anyone about Aqidah or La ilaha illallah. You will never be able to know what La ilaha illallah meant. Because if we are to teach you La ilaha illallah, it can take us months, even up to a year, just to unpack La ilaha illallah. Wallahi al-azim. Just La ilaha illallah. This kalima, La ilaha illallah, wallahi al-azim, we can take 1 year just unpacking it. Because books have been written regarding it. Even Fatwa al-Hamawiyyat al-Kubra, when you talk about Aqidatul Wasitiyya, when you talk about Aqidatul, all of these books of Aqa'id, they revolve around La ilaha illallah. So when will you ever be able to exhaust it? So you can't even, and you need to know La ilaha illallah before you can be a bona fide Muslim. And that is what we're saying, 10% or at most 5% give it to lectures. Because people become weakened when you keep feeding them with lectures. They think they have fulfilled all righteousness. But when you teach them, and that is why Satan makes learning more difficult for people. Lecture is very easy. After 1 hour, you're gone. And you are gingered the moment you step out of the lecture venue. You've forgotten almost 50 or 70% of what has been said. But when you have kitab, now you are writing. Everyone is writing. When you have kitab, you go back home and go through it again. You will learn more than I do. Because when you do, maybe as a student of knowledge, it exposes you to more things, and you start, going deeper and deeper and deeper. The only thing you do, you bounce it off with your scholars. Is this legitimate? Is this, and that? That is how you grow as a student of knowledge. But lecture, the moment you leave the lecture hall, that's the end of it. How many lectures haven't we organized regarding marriages? Are people still giving their wives the rights that they need to give? How many lectures? But when you teach people the religion, the fear of Allah, when they know La ilaha illallah, they will be afraid to interfere with the rights of other people. Namshi, our time is almost up. You are the timekeeper. It's 15 minutes, 10 minutes this. We started late. Sheikh Fawzan said, Father yet Abu, this is going to make you to be tired. Wala yahsulu ala shay'in. Wallah, you will never achieve anything. If you are attacking knowledge from above, you are rushing knowledge, you don't want to come and sit down and learn Ath-thalatha, for example, Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan said you will never achieve anything at the end of the day. And he says what? بينما الذي يبدأ من الأصول versus the one that starts from usul, the fundamentals, where يتدرج, and it keeps growing from the fundamentals. هذا هو الذي بإذن الله. Look at the ladab. He said, this person بإذن الله, by the permission of Allah. Subhanallah. I hope you are learning some things here. Bi-idhnillah. So when you say things, you say bi-idhnillah, by the permission of Allah, because you on your own will not be able to achieve anything without the aid of Allah. So he says bi-idhnillah. Sheikh Fawzan is teaching us a fundamental thing of Aqidah also. Bi-idhnillah. يسير مع الطريق الصحيح والاتجاه السليم. This person is going to move on a path that is correct, sahih. Wa iltija'u salim, and a sound path that is salim. Path. Al ittija'u salim. Sheikh now says, Qala ta'ala, Allah, and this is very interesting. We're going to, he said, Qala ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yas'alunaka anil ahilla. They ask you regarding the new moon, crescent. The crescent, how does the crescent appears? Like a disc, isn't it? So the companions are asking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, anil ahilla. They ask you regarding the new crescent, the new moon. قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتٌ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. They are just, lokutani, periods for people and for Hajj. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا. It is not taqwa that you approach your homes from behind. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. But what is piety is for the one that fears Allah. وَآتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Approach your houses from their doors. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Fear Allah, perhaps you'll be successful. Now, alhamdulillah, you're students here, and I'm also a student. But you will understand the beauty of seeking for knowledge. Who on the face of earth will sit down now and connect this verse with the issue of seeking for knowledge step by step? The first time I read this, I asked my wife, I said, this is going to be interesting, but because I want to understand why this verse is here, I want to see the word you will istidlal. What is the connection between this verse and the topic of discussion? Now Sheikh gave us the wisdom behind the Sheikh Fawzan Hafizahullah. He said, Hawula'i, these companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sa'alu anil ahilla. They are asking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding the crescent of the moon. Limada yabda'u al-hilal sagiran. Why is it that the new moon starts very small? Thumma yakbur, then it grows. Thumma yakbur, and it keeps growing. Hatta yatakamal, until it becomes the full moon. That is the question they are asking. Why? Why is it starting very small? Look at the question they are asking. Thumma yasgur, then it becomes small. Hatta ya'uda hilalan, then it goes back to hilal. When they say hilal, it means the crescent. That is why they said when you see Hilal, Shahr Ramadan, that is when you sight the crescent. That one is called Hilal. That is the beauty of Arabic language. Hilal, when you hear Hilal, is the crescent, the small one. فَعَتَبَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ, then Allah admonished them. Because this question is not supposed to be asked. What do you stand to benefit from it? فَعَتَبَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. That is it. Allah now admonished them. وَوَجَّهُمْ أَن يَسْأَلُوا أَمَّا يَنْفَعَهُمْ. Then Allah redirect them towards asking that which is going to be beneficial to them. Then Allah said, وَأَيَّأْتُوا بُيُوتَ الْعِلْمِ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Look at what Sheikh said now. That they should seek to enter the houses of knowledge through their doors. You can't enter from above. You are a thief. If you start from Sahih Bukhari and you don't even know Usul Thalatha, you are a thief. So you have to start from the door. Look at Sheikh Fawzan bin Fawzan, Hafidhahullah. Now, listen. Amma su'al anil ilal. As for your question regarding the crescent, wa ahwalihi, and its nature of starting from being small to growing big, wa shigarihi, and becoming small, wa kibarihi, and growing, fahadha la fa'ida lahum fihi. There is no any benefit in it. So why asking that question is inconsequential. That is what Allah is making them to understand here. Because Allah now didn't answer them, but He directed them to that which is important. That is why sometimes when someone asks you a question and you know that the answer to that question is not going to benefit him, then give him an answer and direct him to that which is better for him. When someone asks the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man is sa'a?" When is the last hour? That is not the important question. Are you going to stop it from occurring? Then the Prophet directed them to a more important question. What have you prepared for it? So you are not to ask about it, isn't it? That is starting from the fundamental. Don't come from above. It's not asking about Yawm al-Qiyamah. What have you prepared for? That is more important. So in your religion, what is most important for you is to start from the fundamental. The same way you are asking about the Hilal. That is not it. Allah said, no. Bal al-fa'ida hiya ay yas'alu amma yahtajuna ilayhi. What is going to be beneficial to them is for them to ask a question regarding that which they need. If I tell you the moon is coming out like this and that, you don't need the answer to that question. But something related to the moon that is of benefit to you is what? وَهُوَ مَعْرِفَةُ فَوَائِدَ الْهِلَالِ وَلِهَذَا قَالَ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ. Allah now is telling them the importance of the moon. It's not the size of the moon that matters, but what is the relevance of you seeing the moon? It is for you to be able to count the days. So that is it. Allah now directed them to what is beneficial. Now, the gist is, بَيَّنَ لَهُمْ فَوَائِدُهَا. Allah now explains the benefit of it. وَهِيَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ جَعَلَهَا مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ يَعْرِفُونَ بِهَا الْعِبَادَاتِ. Without it, we don't know when we are going to perform Hajj. Without the new moon, we don't know when it is Ramadan. So because of that, that is the value of it. وَالْمُعَامَلَاتِ وَالْآجَالِ. What is this al-ajal? You know mu'amalat, that is social interaction. But what is al-ajal here? You know ajal. Ajalun musamma. That is al-ajal. That is determination of things. Who can be smart to give us an example of where moon sighting is very important in terms of al-ajal? And that is one of the reasons why Umar bin Khattab said we should start counting the Islamic calendar. It was for this reason. Who can be clever enough to give us a try? Not Ramadan and Eid. Good try. Not New Year. Not Ayyamul Bid. Ajal. We say ajal. Determination. Excellent. Allah yubarak fiqh. Dates. Sabara basu suka. Al-ajal. When are you going to pay back the debt? In the next 5 months. Then we start counting from this month. That is why Umar bin Khattab said, let us establish a calendar so that people will be able to count when it is due to pay back their debts. Then the second reason is what? For iddah of women. so that you know when a woman's iddah is complete. Now, the last part, وَغَيْرِ ذَلِكَ فَأَرْشَدَهُمْ إِلَى فَوَائِدِ الْأَهِلَّةِ, then Allah guided them towards the importance and the benefit of the crescent. وَلَمْ يُجِبْهُمْ عَنْ سُؤَالِهِمْ, Allah didn't answer their question. Did Allah answer their question? So even you, it's not all questions that you answer. Allah didn't answer their questions. An hakikatil al-ahilla, regarding the reality of the ahilla. لأنه ليس لهم في ذلك فائدة, because there is no any benefit for them in that. وَلِيُوَجِّهَهُمْ إِلَى مَا يَنْبَغِي أَنْ يَسْأَلُوا عَنْهُ, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now pointed them, turned them to that which if they had asked would have benefited them. وَهُوَ أَبْوَابُ الْعِلْمِ, and that is the door of knowledge. La dhuhur al-ilm, not the manifestation of knowledge. Can you see how Sheikh is drawing conclusion now? Allah now directed them. You have to be able to know where the door of knowledge is before you can enter. You can't just enter from above. So you're asking regarding the crescent. That is not it. Allah is introducing them to the doors of knowledge. And that is what we are saying. You have to start with the fundamental first. La dhuhur al-ilm, not the manifestation of knowledge. Wa masail al-fuduliyat. What is this? And curiosity. Masail, issues of curiosity. What was the name of the mother of Fir'aun? Did Satan got married? These are curious things that are not, do you understand? La yahtajuna ilayya, you don't even need them. Wa in yahtaju ilayya, even if you need them, fa hiya hajatun qalila, they're just small needs. Now, inshallah, we're stopping here today. One of the lessons you take home here is that when asking questions, seek to know the fundamental first, and whether the answer to the question will be of any benefit to you. Allah says in Quran chapter 5 verse 101, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, Quran 5, 101, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, la tas'alu an ashiya'a in tubda lakum tasukum. Do not ask questions about things which if made plain to you may cause you trouble. Isn't it? Then inshallah we're stopping here and we're going to do the muqaddimah of that was written by Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab himself. Whatever we have said that is consistent with the truth, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Where we have made mistakes, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. Now, our last part, please and please, this is as important as the class itself. You are to memorize this hadith by next week. I don't know how we're going to be getting it, maybe batch by batch. If you happen to be falling, we're going to maybe be dividing it. People that will be bringing the hadiths and weekly, so that we will manage our time. Maybe we'll be picking five people from both sides. The 5 people of this week will not be the ones to give for the next week, isn't it? That is why we need the name, so that we can group people. Will ask, maybe the sisters will have their list and group themselves. Some might not be around today, but you group yourselves into the first group of next week that will bring the hadith. You don't have to stand up. While you are sitting, we can take the mic to you. Just recite the hadith, isn't it? Bring it offhand. Inshallah, we're going to do a short listen. Before you memorize the hadith, we're going to go through the hadiths in 5 minutes. That's why I said we're going to use each. Please, next week also, our cameraman, please. You were here early, but because we are using this class and we have to wait for them to finish, I don't know. It's because of the comfort of the chairs here. That is why we prefer to use this class. It's more comfortable for you to sit on. Otherwise, because our intention is to always start by 4:30. I was here before 4:30. I prayed Asr here. Actually, before 4, we're all here, isn't it? So that we can start early and people can go back home early. And we use 10 minutes after 5:30 to go through the hadiths. So inshallah, the hadith we're going to treat today is the first hadith of Arba'un al-Nawawi. Each one of us is expected, including myself, to memorize this hadith by next week. You have 7 days to memorize this hadith. And inshallah, we might even call people randomly, aside the people whose name will be randomly, to bring the hadith. And it's good. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Naddar Allah, maybe this will encourage you. Naddar Allah umra'an. This hadith is in the Sunan of Abu Isa at-Tirmizi. The hadith is authentic according to Sheikh Nasruddin al-Albani. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Naddar Allah umra'an May Allah brighten the life of this individual. Who doesn't want the prayer of the Prophet? Now they said, when you see someone excelling, his mother has prayed for him. He's moving with his mother's dua. What about a man that moves around with the dua of the Prophet? Do you want to be that person? Okay, listen to this hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, Naddarallahu umra'an. May Allah brighten the life of this individual. Sami aminna, who heard from us. You hear the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Sami aminna shay'an faballagahu kama sami'a. He memorized it, then he relates it the way he had it from us. The Prophet has already prayed for you if you memorize this hadith. So I hope this will encourage us. So when you memorize this hadith now, you are moving with the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inshallah. You only see brightness in your life, no darkness, inshallah. That's that 4:30 for the classes. Then we use 10 minutes, which means by 4:40 we are done. Now? No, it's 5:40 that we are leaving. When we finish 5:30, we use 10 minutes for the hadith. Yeah. No, we are considering Maghrib keeps fluctuating, but what we are saying, that is what. No. What we are saying, even now, if we stick to it, is because we were not able to start early today. Not our fault. We were all here. If we start on time, it will be okay for us, isn't it? Even the cameraman was here early. It's because we had to move to this class. If we want to start early enough, we will be managing the chairs there. It's all part of seeking for knowledge. It's just 1 hour. Allah will reward you, isn't it? We'll be using that class to start early, isn't it? Inshallah. So now the hadith is hadith number 1 in Arba'un an-Nawawi. Please listen, everyone. I'm going to read the hadith. You repeat after me. After I've read, then inshallah we're going to read it 3 times. Then that's it. An Amir al-Mu'minina Abi Hafsin Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu. Maybe you will just pick the one that narrates it. You just give us the mutton of the hadith. Because if we tell you to be telling us, and it might be, but you tell us the body of the hadith only, isn't it? But you should be able to tell us who narrated the hadith. An Amir al-Mu'minin Abi Hafsin Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Repeat after me. سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله ومن كانت هجرته لدنيا يصيبها أو إلى امرأة ينكهها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. رواه البخاري ومسلم. So you are memorizing the narrator of the hadith and the reporters, isn't it? So what is this hadith? Listen, so that when you know the meaning, it's easier for you to memorize. The Prophet Umar said, I had the Prophet. There is difference between Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sami'tu, which means this is stronger. He had directly, that is Sami'tu. This hadith of Sami'tu is stronger. He said, I had the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Innamal a'malu bin niyat. Verily, actions are only by their intention. Wa innama li kulli imri'in ma nawa. And for everything is what? Man shall have but that which he intended. فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Whomsoever's migration is to Allah and His Messenger, فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. His hijrah is to Allah and is to His Messenger. فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا. And any such person whose hijrah, وَمَنْ كَانَتْ, whoever those migrate for the sake of this world, worldly things, or for a woman that he wants to marry, فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. His hijrah is what? Is for that which he migrated. Quick one. This hadith tells us cause and effect. What is the cause here? إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Actions are by their intention. The effect is وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. So the effect of my action will depend on my intention. So the first part of the hadith, according to Sheikh Uthaymeen in Sharh of Riyadh al-Salihin, the first part of the hadith is cause. The second part of the hadith is effect. So when you intend good, the effect is that you are going to be rewarded. When you do evil, وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. Then the Prophet now gave example. So فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. That is an example of إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. So whosoever's hijrah, that is, if your intention for hijrah is for Allah, فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. That is it, your hijrah is for Allah. وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِلدُّنْيَا. Whomsoever's migration is for this world, أو امرأة ينكحها, or for a woman that he intends to marry, فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. His hijrah is for that which he intends. Now scholars said the Prophet repeated for hijratu ila Allah wa rasuli, but he didn't say for hijratuhu ila dunya yusiba mir'atin, because two things. Because of the Prophet doesn't want to make the statement lengthy, according to some scholars, or perhaps because of the evil nature of the intention. The Prophet is not even in need of repeating. That's how evil the intention of someone is that is seeking for this world, not Allah. So the Prophet didn't even repeat for hijratu ila dunya yusiba mir'atin yankihuha. I hope you understand the hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim, the highest level of authenticity, muttafaqu alayh. There is no any hadith that is stronger than the hadith that you hear muttafaqu alayh, agreed upon. That is agreed upon. So inshallah, you're going to memorize this hadith. Now you know the meaning. You can go back and know the meaning again. Then by next week, inshallah, we're going to be doing this class. Now the timing, please. 4:30 to 5:20. 50 minutes, isn't it? Then the 10 minutes, we will use it. It's not going to take us more than 1 minute for 10 people to give us the hadith, isn't it? Then we are going to use the 10 minutes for the next hadith, isn't it? Then we will be able to manage our time, inshallah. So please, let us be regulars. We started Aqidah class like this, but we ended Aqidah class slim. Yeah, but that is how it is always, isn't it? But please, we don't want you to suffer from that. Satan will come to you not to come next week, not to come the following week. Something will come up and will disrupt. No, it's important. I take it to be important. That is why nothing comes between my teaching of Aqidah and anything. Even if I travel, I come direct, sometimes from airport, sometimes from the train station. I come to the Aqidah class or to any of my dars. Because if I'm around, why should I just go and sleep? I can sleep after 1 hour. It's just 1 hour. So 1 hour sleep will not kill me. So if I'm willing to sacrifice that time just for us to...
Are you tired of the large volume of un-Islamic content that has taken over the media space? Are you looking for an exclusive collection of Tafsir of the Quran, Seerah of the Prophet, lecture on marital issues and child upbringing? Look no further, as iMedia Communication offers you all these and more in the Guidedview Park. 120 hours Tafsir of the Quran, delivered over 4 years in Al-Nur Mosque. Seerah of the Prophet, Shamailu Nabiyy, 30 hours from 2017 to 2019.
Da kai da roƙon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ya samu a cikin bayin da ake karban addu'o'insu a wannan wata mai albarka kuma ake gafarta musu.
25 hours of peace and unity convention. Mufti Menk lectures, 50 hours delivered in Nigeria and across the world for you and your loved ones.
I have only created mankind and jinn kind to obey me. And wallahi, my brothers and sisters, if you do that, you will be content in this world. You will smile even if you are living under a tree. And if you don't do that, you will be depressed even if you are living in a palace. Did you hear that?
Delivered on high-grade flash drives for your TV, your phones, your car or any other platform. Get your pack at iMedia Studio in An-Nur Masjid, Wusetu, Abuja, or visit www.imediatv.tv or call 080-6131-9522. Take deliberate control of your life and that of your beloved ones by taking control of what they watch.